All right, let us get into this. Hopefully my desktop audio is working, but um, we are streaming at the same time as the Technical Tea Time. You know what that means? A lot of shared viewers, so we might not have the biggest viewership yet. So I was thinking, before we get into it, I might just talk about some of the stats. Stats of T90 League. Yeah, so we're covering the T90 Community League, specifically the brick bracket. That's around about, from my experience, 1200 ELO to 1300 ELO, which is about 100 higher than my personal ELO. Kind of chose that because it is interesting to learn from players that are slightly higher skill than myself. So I thought it might be good just to go through some of the stats this far, to see what civs people are picking, what maps they're picking, win rates, that kind of thing, before we actually kick off into the actual games. So and just looking ahead for the rest of the stream, what I plan on doing is covering Garebear versus player 2. My goal is always to cast a set from 2 players that I haven't covered yet until all players have been covered. So Garebear and player 2 haven't covered yet, so I'll do their set. And hopefully, if we have enough time, I'll cover a set played between Pastor and Lord Benji. I have covered both of those 2 players before. They both lost in their previous sets to very good players. Pastor, I think, lost to Alpha Crit, and Lord Benji lost to Can't Touch Me, 2 very strong players. So I thought I would cover another one of their sets to cover that. It's the second chance set, I guess you will. But yeah, going through the stats, draft data, and I really just wanted to see, so I should say that 13 sets have been played so far with 38 games, and what we're seeing is not a runaway favourite, in my opinion, with six of these sets picking up Acropolis, 6 out of 13, so it's over, or just less than half, so it's popular, but it's not a runaway every kind of set kind of pick. So I think there's good balance here, but Acropolis is definitely one of the ones that I've seen to be quite quite popular indeed. And we're probably going to see that reflected in the civ picks as well. But Rocky Forest, I think, and I should say Acropolis is popular across any kind of tournament that I've seen. It's always been a staple pick. Whereas the next 2, Rocky Forest and Evacuation, I think they're newer maps that I haven't seen as often. So I think players are picking those because they've devised some kind of special strategy around those maps. Sorry for the cough. Whereas, Cross could be a comfort pick that people like to play. Zong would be another one of those newer maps that people could be playing around. And then the last ones, 3 or less, Pacific Islands, I think could be one of these ones that people pick as they design their gameplay around them. Their gameplay around a specific strategy. Or really, this is the only true water map, like full water map, out of all of the picks. But fortified clearing, I'm surprised this is not higher up here. But I think with Zong, Rocky Forest, you know, these ones are also quite closed maps. You know, Rocky Forest and Fortified Clearing I find quite similar. Obviously, you can't run through the forward of Fortified Clearing, but they're very similar maps. And Rocky Forest is, you know, a runaway favourite over Fortified Clearing, it would seem. And sometimes, you know, from time, one of the sets I've covered had Fortified Clearing and Rocky Forest, very similar maps. That's one thing I would change in terms of the map picks. Yeah, in terms of future tournaments. But yeah, Pacific Islands I've been enjoying because it's a very different kind of map to the other maps in this list. Jungle Swamp, Kilimanjaro Ravines, Shoals, all down near the bottom. I think Ravines has provided some really good games, and the one game I saw in Jungle Swamp was a runaway victory. But I think Ravines, personally, I think it's an underrated map for producing good games. And Shoals, I think another underrated map. So yeah, not sure why these are at the bottom. I think they're very good maps, very fun maps to cast as well. So me personally, I'd like to see Ravines and Shoals kind of jump up the list a bit. Civilization picks, Lithuanians at the top. Personally, I'd find this very, I was going to say unexpected, but you know, they're very good on cross. They're probably good on evacuation. With the extra, I think they're good on hybrid maps, I would say. You know, maybe an underrated pick on hybrid maps with the extra food and wood, I believe it is at the start. Or is it just food? I'm not quite sure, but the early bonuses that you have allow you to get on water really early. So maybe it shouldn't be so surprising to me that they're at the top. Byzantines, I just think comfort picks. They're a good all-round civ. I think a comfort pick at this level of play as well. Yeah, just a solid civ. Japanese hybrid map. There are a lot of hybrid maps on here. Even things like Acropolis and Jungle Swamp have water in the middle, like a small amount of food. You know, that allows Japanese to really thrive on these maps. Vietnamese are a surprise to me. Why they have a wood bonus, I guess, good for hybrid maps again. They're also quite good on closed maps with their economy. Yeah, not something I would have thought of, but makes sense. Hindustan is, I think, again, all-round civ. Persian, great hybrid civ. Saracens, don't play all that much Saracens, but maybe some market abusers here in this tournament. Mayans, comfort pick. Berbers, cheap knights, maybe great on Acropolis. Ethiopians, I just think is quite interesting as well. Don't quite get it. Georgians obviously make a lot of sense with how good they are in the meta. Always like to look at some of the least picked civs as well. Malay, I'm surprised at. Very surprised that they have a lot of good bonuses for these, you know, both closed and hybrid maps. So yeah, one Malay pick, that's very surprising. Dravidians, only one pick. We've got hybrid maps. We've got hybrid maps on this. Dravidians are OP in my opinion. They're one of my favourite civs. Yeah, I don't understand that. Incas, yeah, out of favour. Turks, Mongols. Maybe we're going to see these come up in the bans. Yes, and as we do see Mongols are always at the top in the bans. Because, yeah, people just hate playing against the Mangudai, in my opinion, and so do I. I would be banning this civ out, or I'd be considering them for a ban a lot of the time. Georgians has been a great meta civ right now. Makes a lot of sense. We've got Lithuanians both near the top in terms of picks and bans. So they seem to be the runaway winner here in terms of the brick bracket at least. Be interested to see what the difference is across brackets, perhaps a little later on. Britain's banned? Why? Britons aren't that good, guys. Why would you ban Britons? Persians, Byzantines make sense. We see Cumans banned a lot. People don't want to deal with perhaps a feudal rush kind of thing. Interesting. I wouldn't have picked them at the top. Magyars makes a lot of sense for a ban for Acropolis or ravines, in my opinion, so totally understand that too. Which maps were picked in the draft, but which ones were actually played? If I've been honest, I don't quite understand that. That should be the same. So, yep, and I think it is the same if I look at the numbers. Civilizations played. Yes, so you would actually pick civilizations. You pick 5 civilizations and only play 3 maps. So these are the ones that are actually played. So Hindustanis meet Lithuanians here. I think that makes a lot of sense in terms of camels and gulams are good at counterplay. So if you're expecting some kind of archer civ, you might pick Hindustani. If you expect some kind of knight civ, you pick Hindustanis from your draft. Makes sense. Anybody else here? No, nothing that sticks out to me, but this sticks out to me. Britons, 100% win rate, and if we can see how often they were actually played, trying to find them. Could be blind, guys. Could be blind. Here, played once. So, played once. Won once. Yeah, maybe the sample size is too much to make of this at any point, but maybe Lithuania, there's 5 games played with Lithuanians, and their success rate shows 80%. So, good job for the Lithuanians. Georgians, when they're actually played, 2 games, won 1, lost 1. So, not the 100% you're looking for. Hindustanis, again, Hindustanis were played 5 times, and they've won twice. So, maybe Hindustanis are not the play, guys. Yeah. Games by length. You haven't seen that many short games. I know who this one game is. Guys, I've made a short on this. The guy who pulled out of the tournament, he got tilted and then pulled out. Should I name names? The Flaming Camel. Yeah, pulled out of the tournament in Dark Age. In game 2, didn't play the game 3. Pulled out of the tournament. And only won below 30 minutes. It'd be interesting to know who played this 85 to 89 minute game. Wow. Yeah, wow. But yeah, would expect it to be in this 40 to 45 minute range for game. I feel as I've been doing some of the long ones in these casts. Now, this is something that I'm interested in 100%, is APM by bracket. Now, I stood probably high 20s, low 30s. So, Ramaranik, Lord Benji, John the Pill, Weddy Matty, who is dominating. I haven't cast him yet, but he is dominating. Sits around this area. Back in black, so maybe I'm not that far off. Maybe I'm not stone bracket. No, I definitely am stone bracket. I'll be in with these guys, 100%. But you can obviously see a clear trend. Dirt bracket, 61 actions per minute. Cam Farewell should be dominating that bracket. Who's got the highest of them all? Sin. I know pig. Can we find T90 in here? T90 official, sitting just under 70 actions per minute. That's what you gotta go for, guys. If you want to be T90, you gotta go for the 70. Go for 70, and then you'll be just like T90. But yeah, that's the stats for the brick bracket so far. Lithuanians dominating in picks and bans. But Mongols, of course. Acropolis, Rocky Forest dominating in terms of map picks. Too early to say, in my opinion, for win rates, and we're seeing a pretty average 45-minute game length. So, yeah, we'll have a little check on this later on in the tournament as well as the meta kind of develops. But yeah, good data. And shout out, I think it's Beargwin. Yes, thanks to Beargwin for compiling all the data. I agree. I will echo those thoughts. Good job, Beargwin. See you in the Discord all the time. If you're looking for this information, go to the important links part of the tournament in the Discord, and there should be a link to TTLC stats in Rbase's pinned comment, I believe. So check out the stats. It's really fascinating, really interesting, and good job, Beargwin. Cool. I think we're going to get into the actual games. So let me just see if we can get that up. Yes, we are up. So, player 2 and Garebear. Again, two players I haven't played, and we're playing on Shoals, which is not a map like we just saw in the meta that has been playing all that often. So let's get this going. Yeah, Japanese I think is a great pick, and Vietnamese I also think is a great pick. Vietnamese with the wood bonus, or they get their upgrades automatically. I believe that's their bonus. Japanese, their camps, such as wood camps, are severely discounted, I believe, so you can get that dock up very quickly. So I can see the logic for both players here in this pick. So, what am I expecting? I don't know anything about these players. I haven't interacted with these players. I haven't seen them in the tournament that I played in a while ago. So I'm coming into this blind. But one thing is consistent is deer pushing at this level. I think I haven't covered any of the stone bracket, but I don't think it would be as consistent as this, as we see from these players to do deer pushing. So all to be expected here from this bracket. Going to the wood camp. Really critical to get those first fishing boats out. So in a way, I like player 2 start here with this start on wood. 4 on wood, you'll be able to get that dock and those boats up quickly, but we do see 4 on wood and now 5 on wood for Garebear. So, similar kind of strategy going into this. We see a little bit of cow scouting as well, which is always a good plan. I always like to see what the players are doing scouting wise. So we already see, that's actually the cow's barn. I think this is actually pretty critical to do when you're pushing deer around. Obviously on scouted is the enemy base. Always forget that Vietnamese bonus. But yeah, let's have a look at what player 2 has scouted. He scouted a much smaller portion of the map as he's kept his cows under the TC. But that's fine. You'll have plenty of time during the game to do your scouting. And he successfully has pushed all of his deer. I find that really impressive from my own level. Both have their docks out, but we see the first fishing ship come in for player 2, and these are the kind of things, if you can get a start like this, where you've got that near perfect production of fishing ships, sometimes that can snowball, leads can really snowball in this game, so getting that down is super important. You're seeing Garebear finish up these deer. Bit of idle time here as we have this rhino come in. Although, there we go, yep, perfect, good stuff. Even went so far as to chop some wood not to lose any efficiency, so these guys are on another level. 2 fishing ships, 2 fishing ships, all going to plan so far for both players. In terms of what are we expecting for army composition would be another thing to think about. Japanese, I think they're very flexible. I believe their cav archer is pretty solid. So maybe we'll see, I think this map lends itself to a bit of mobility. So cav archer play on the golds, we could see that. Obviously the infantry are very strong. Could be a mistake because obviously the Vietnamese player has the Imperial Skirmisher, if they ever get to that. If they see cav archer, it could be a good counter. But yeah, we actually see the feudal age lead here for Garebear, showing that he's got this build order down pat, going up at 26 villages. We're going to see loom and then feudal for player 2. It's very apt actually that player 2 is in the red, because that is the second player, of course. It'd be funny if he was in the blue. And we're going to gold. I love to see people go to gold for the eventual ship play that will go on in feudal age. And I reckon on shoals, the feudal time is so important, because whoever gets the first ship out is obviously at an advantage, the first fire galley or galley. And we're seeing the double dock, which, that would indicate to me that it's very likely that Garebear will win water, 1 dock to 2 dock, 2 dock to 1 dock production. And I wonder, we've got blue scouting all of this, whereas red has seemed to have lost his scout, for at least for the moment being, and has not gone really beyond his own side, whereas blue, as we change that over, has gone all over the map, and causing some idle time, messing about basically. But I would not be attacking that scout while they're both in feudal now actually, so that is fine. Gonna see a market blacksmith as the play for player 2 potentially. See a lot of floating wood and a lot of floating resources on the side of player 2 as well. And that's primarily because we see a bit of a fishing boat advantage. We see the galleys out already. So, Garebear really utilising his resources to the maximum, and we see even a bit of walling. Obviously can't full wall this because of the gaps around the side or in the shallows, but it's still good to do some walling. Fletching even coming onto these galleys, so oh wow, those floating resources were because we were holding on to go to castles. So I think this might be an intentional play to give up water. As we see, this is going to go into the TC. No, they're not going to go into the TC. It's going to let the scout sit there. Alright, that was a dead scout. So, attention obviously elsewhere, perhaps on the ships, but yeah, unfortunate there. But, you know, the fast castle play is not terrible because I feel as though player 2 intentionally didn't go for these ships at first. Maybe went to these fish or some fish elsewhere in order to save these for when these galleys come. So, you know, I think this is good strategy. And this is really coming back to bite Garebear. He's got a dead villager because he didn't garrison that town centre. And Garebear's just going to jump on this. He doesn't want these this advantage to happen. It doesn't matter really if you lose a ship or get less ships at this point because you've already got a lead here in terms of the water battle. I like it. I like the dive. And you know, you're just pushing your economy advantage even further. 41 to 27. That's with these ships. 9 ships, obviously less efficient than, you know, we've got 44% efficiency on these fishing ships. So really they're about half a villager, I would say. But unless Garebear can get some damage in, which is hard to do on shoals, when you've got this big body of water in the middle, you could potentially drive the middle up here, but you've got the sea tower, of course, to contend with. It's hard to punish this. 1 villager on a TC here, and these villagers coming for this gold early. So, you know, I was concerned for player 2, and you know, especially with this eco difference, I do find that concerning for sure. But he's not that far behind in terms of res, guys. He's got the upgraded ships. You know, he might need to hide these ships for a while, and he's even got some fire galleys out. We do have more galleys on the way for Garebear. These ships might get trapped, but it looks like he is dodging engagement right now, which is a very good strategy. But with these fire ships, he may be able to take this sea tower. It's really interesting. So we're going to have to see maybe a demo ship or something of the like come in here at some point. But of course, you know, 1 TC for Garebear still, so we are seeing that eco lead close up a little bit. Got immediately for the war gun, immediately for Vodka Arrow, immediately for Town Watch. So, you know, it'd be interesting to see this response. 6 galleys, so only 3 fire ships, 6 ships each, and then there's a couple of ships in here as well. So I would like to see some demos come out. But he's just going to go immediately as he hits not Castle Edge, the upgrade. He goes for those ships. And really good unit control here as well. He's just going to focus down these fire galleys and make sure they don't pose a threat no more. And we see the lead here, at least on Navy, for Garebear. That was impressive. You know, I think the timing there for all of that was amazing. We see a war galley, unfortunately, trapped in the mangroves. Yeah, so swings on water, but also swings on economy count. We have an eco lead now for player 2, as he went for those early TCs. Where previously he was quite far behind an eco lead. Thinking of a castle, I think, with all of those villagers on stone. I feel like he doesn't have enough really on food to maintain 3 TCs, so you know, I think if you're going to choose 3 TCs, you have to you know, make sure that you have the economy to sustain it. So maybe one thing to kind of refine there. And one of these dogs is definitely going to go down. And we're going to go War Galley against War Galley. And Garebear is kind of content just to stick with these numbers for now, while he goes up to the 2 TCs. Player 2 is forever housed, you know, pushing that idle TC time higher and higher. I would suggest building more than one house. Maybe build a couple before you get housed again. I don't see another house go up, so in 8 villages time, we might see him housed again. We'll see. But this is good, securing that. We're seeing some outposts by both players. They can watch each other. They can watch each other across across these little platforms and just, you know, say hi, how's it going? No arrows fired or anything like that. Just watching. Just notifying home base what each other are doing. This one's a bit low. This is slightly unfortunate and may need to be dealt with. I'm surprised how quickly the hit points on this is going down. We're actually seeing a few villager kills as well, so it might be worth putting a mining camp back here. Yeah, that is unfortunate. I think you always need to be a bit wary of, you know, if you think you might lose water, what the play might be with where you put these PCs. So yep, mining camp I think is really wise. Destroying this, you know, somebody can watch the other villagers watchtower be destroyed. So friendship over. Double TC on this side. Yep, I like it. Like it a lot. See a dead villager with 2 villagers menacingly looking over that villager sink into the dirt. Yeah, quite disturbing actually. But we've got an even game. I think Garebear still needs to worry a little bit about water. Well, it's 14 ships. Another villager goes down. No, it's a monk, sorry. Monk sitting there with a relic goes down. And, you know, this could be a concern. I think this knight is going to be converted for sure. Delete the knight. Great stuff. Great stuff indeed to have that forethought. And the knight dies. So no future conversions from that monk. But yeah, I like it. Build another monk if we're seeing knights. Love it. Do have to be wary of that scout though. And wow, this is ambitious. One might say too ambitious. But do we have a market? You know, this castle can be responded to with the castle with much more villagers nearby on the blue side. This is 100% a mistake, because Garebear can buy, although he's not floating a lot of resources to buy stone, but that stone can be bought and that castle can go up quicker. Monks can obviously convert knights as well. And he gets it. And I would love to see another castle come in here. Buy that stone. You need that. Yep, Garebear bought stone and is building his own castle. This is... What a risky play. What an unnecessarily risky play. I didn't like that from player 2. I appreciate the courage to do that, especially in a tournament setting. But then these villagers are also going to die. So this is quite a lot of villager kills at this part of the game. Desperately getting up a palisade wall for reasons unknown. Yeah, Vietnamese with the cab archer. I didn't see that happening, if I'm being honest. And at night, obviously the rally point's coming in here. But, these galleys are going to go down. These galleys are just chilling. I would still say that the water is Garebear's. University is going to go for that ballistics, I believe. What about relics? We've got 3 relics on the side of player 2. But wow, look at these farms. Why do you need this many farms? If cab archers to play, you don't need this many farms. You need wood and gold. So I need more on wood and gold for sure. We see skirmishes on the side of the Japanese. This is actually the complete opposite of what I was predicting. I was predicting skirmishes on the side of player 2. No, sorry, I was predicting skirmishes on the side of Vietnamese with the royal, what are they called? The royal skirmishes, imperial skirmishes, sorry. Actually, Garebear needs to get all his army involved or he's going to lose that entire army. And yeah, cab archers on the side of the Japanese player is what I was expecting. Good dodging there on these 1 HP ships. So that, wow, okay, that's micro for you. That's demonstrating the power of micro. Garebear that had control of water has control of water no more. And all these fishing ships are going to go down. So it's clawing his way back there. We're seeing Imperial Age for player 2. Let's see what he can do with it. If these can run through and get to stone or anything like that. What is being built here? Tower. Very heads up play from player 2. I think this is a good castle position away from the shore, protects the resources still. But I feel as though Garebear is going to give up water unless he, builds a castle on the shore and produces more docks. That would be the play. These archers are sitting under this tower. I think this little raid could have been a bit quicker, but it will still do a lot of damage. These have ballistics, so even a small group like this can be very effective. We're seeing the skirmisher production occur away from this area. This has not been responded to either. It's just been left. So that's gonna hurt the economy severely. Yeah, wow. 31 eco kills now, and this woodline is going to be decimated too. So in a way, this does not matter. This is what matters, and all this idle time as well is going to matter a lot. And he's going to keep looking. And this is just a group of 5 cab archers. They've killed 27 units, probably all villagers. Yeah. See 2 castles firing each other, which is fun. Chemistry coming out on the side of Garebear. These cab archers can get in the back of this base here as well. So more idle TC home. I would keep this group alive as much as possible, and we're actually seeing elephants on the side of the Vietnamese player, and play to them. The elephants, they're really strong, especially with the special tech, which I believe gives you extra armor. So we see him go into armor, and I'm assuming that the special tech is going to be considered as well. We see a trap here. We see trap being produced by player 2, but he is behind in that trap war. This side is going to be an issue, especially when skirmishes were responded to for Cav Archer, but yep, there's like one adaptation behind. He didn't know that these elephants were coming, and these Cav Archers are just going to focus on the economy. So we're seeing about half the economy now. This is a great adaptation. Converting those elephants, that's huge, but it won't be enough, and this push has completely taken player 2 off this gold area, whereas this gold area is absolutely fine. We do see traps here, that's going to be an issue. This could be a resource sink. Battle elephants are being produced on this side as well. That's going to be used against the traps. See barracks coming in, so maybe thinking halberdier on that side. Take out that monastery, get those relics. So that advantage is gone. Garebear really taking control of this game. That castle does go down, unfortunately for him, but there's nothing really at threat here for Garebear, just yet anyway, especially as skirmishes are all we're seeing military count for player 2 be quite low. We do see a cannon galleon coming out, so maybe we'll see some pressure down here on the home base, but these treads were not moved quick enough. I thought these treads were also kind of abandoned on the side of Garebear, so more armor coming out on these elephants. That's going to be tough to deal with. Pikes are still obviously a great counter, so I like to see the adaptation. The months were a good idea, but it's coming a bit late, and this side is lost. See 0 on gold for player 2, so that's the main issue. Even if we get these counter units out, is it going to be enough to get gold back? I think not. This trip could have been saved. Well, yeah, so we're seeing another adaptation going for the Rattan Archer to deal with pikemen. Also quite good against skirmishes, I believe. Not cost effective necessarily, but they do have that very high PS armor. And well, like more and more watchtowers coming into play. Love their watchtowers, these players. But as we're seeing responses on this side, we're seeing this side being a little bit neglected. So managing these two fronts being difficult for player 2. The halberdier tech comes in, but it's too late. He calls a GG, I think rightly so, with these two gold sides being out of his control. Seeing the Rattan Archer, you know, halberdier is not going to obviously do much against that. What unit will, in terms of Japanese, yeah, I'm not sure what the adaptation was going to be there. Was quite impressive to see monks against elephants, and I think that did slow down the situation a little bit, but you know, when you mass elephants, it's gonna be hard to stop that in the track unless you have that pikeman army ready. Yeah, so great game from Garebear. Yeah, really good stuff, really good stuff. We are going to go to, well, let's have a look at the stats actually to see how this went. Score-wise, I think Garebear kind of, consistently had the score there. KD ratio, huge. I think Garebear just adapted quicker, was the more aggressive player. Economy, there was a small window there where player 2 had that advantage because he did go for the fast castle. And I think the strategy actually worked out pretty well for him because it went unpunished. But I think there are a few refinements to be made there in terms of getting more in food to maintain that 3 TC production. I know you want to go water as well, so you've got to get wood and gold amongst it, but yeah, just a few refinements. Players 2 went to Imperial first, but we did see Garebear have that trebuchet advantage. So maybe when you get to Imperial Age, really prioritize the trebs. Would be my only thing there. Fine, society. 31 to 46, nothing crazy on the side of both players, so it's not, I wouldn't say there's a discrepancy there. I think this is pretty good APM for both players at this bracket. So yeah, could be a close battle in terms of preparation and skill. So yeah, let's watch the next one. All right, we're going we're going Pacific Islands, and we're going Koreans. 2 really good water civs. Yeah, and I love this map. I love Pacific Islands. I think I'm in the minority here of liking this map. Water maps are not everybody's favorite, but personally, I love the water maps. Yeah. Italian's obviously a staple of Pacific Island. Cheaper fishing ships is a really good advantage to work with in the early game. Koreans, they obviously have the turtle ship. I don't play Koreans all that much, so I'm not that familiar with their bonuses off the top of my head. I might actually quickly look this up as we just go through the Dark Age on their own little islands. But do they have a wood advantage? Let's have a look. And as I quickly check the chat as well. Tactical tea time. Good to see you, good to see you. I've actually I know I was going at the same time as you in terms of streams, so I know my viewership may be cannibalized by you, but obviously I'm doing this for the VODs so people can look at them a little bit later. I'm not going necessarily for live views, so but welcome. Good to see you indeed. Korean advantages. Where are their advantages? Villages, 3 line of sight, won't happen in this map. Stone miners is their advantage. Tower upgrades, not going to come into play. Archer armor upgrades, not going to come into play. Maybe this is purely the turtle ship play. Interestingly, we have my wife who's walked into the room as well, so she'll be silently judging me from the corner. An Age of Empires player herself. At the 900 ELO level, I believe. She's strategically staying silent. She says she's rusty. I think she'll be back. She does have a small baby to look after, so I'll forgive her on that front. Anyway, Koreans and Italians on Pacific Islands. It's always a bit of a slow one to begin with, but we actually see the scout for the Italians on the home island of the Koreans, which is interesting. I don't know what advantage that would give them. There's nothing really to scout at this point. Yeah. Going over to one of the islands. He's actually been to both islands now, scouting out what would be the best place to go, which island is got the more resources. We have ships coming in here for the Italians. Cheaper fishing ships is a good advantage. But we've got the first ship for the Koreans as well. So it will be a close opening. A lot of idle time here for the hunters though. Got to get people all working. What about player 2? What is he scouting? He's scouted one island, or half of one island. And he's actually got villages over here already in Dark Age, which I think is a little early. He's actually going to mill these deer. Usually we see the wood camp coming first, but finding more food in this early game, interesting strategy. We don't see the migration yet for the Italians, but they are going to go to gold, which I think is a good idea to get those fire galleys or galleys out early as soon as he hits feudal. So I feel like the Italian player has a bit of a tighter build order. Don't even see feudal yet for player 2. That might be a product of them not working, the villagers not working continuously as he's transporting them early to the islands. I think you want to get to feudal first and then start thinking about transporting. Yeah, just a bit early. But we're going to see the Italians also go over now, but he's already clicked up to feudal. He's going to go for the wood camp as expected. So they're all on the same island, which will lead to an interesting feudal / castle age as they battle over this one island and this other island gets left vacant. And if I was the Koreans player, I'd be concerned to see that feudal uptime come in so quickly. As we see galleys being produced as well. I only see three fishing ships on the Korean side, so there's not much economy to disrupt with a galley opening, but still worth pursuing, I think. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what the army compositions will be for both players. Both known to be archer civs, so they're going to be archer versus archer. As we see, the Italians player might actually get a villager kill here with one scout. Very annoying. Player 2 should have potentially got his other villagers to fight that off. And we're going to see Market Blacksmith for player 2, so another fast castle strategy coming into play, and he does have the resources for it. Blue, obviously investing those resources into galleys rather than go for fast castles, so we'll see if he gets some damage with those galleys. Again, it's only 3 fishing ships, so is it worth it? I feel as though more damage might have needed to come out here early to come out ahead. But you know, he's getting fletching on these galleys. He's getting an early advantage on water. You know, sometimes I think fast castle's a little overrated. Gonna kill a shore villager. So there are eco kills on the side of the Italians, and you know, he does have the villager lead as player 2 has to have an idle TC for a very long time as he goes up the castle edge, so that is a sacrifice for sure of going up super fast. And these fishing ships are going to go down, so the eco is really low for the Korean player. More outposts. Both of these players love their outposts. For the Korean player, I might even prefer a tower on this wood line, that being one of their main advantages. And you can do it with spearmen and a couple of archers to protect. So I'd be thinking about that, and a lot of idle TC time after the construction of that tower. But no, just going to mill the deer. I think he could be a bit more aggressive. Yep, player 2 finally gets to castle age. That would make me nervous. On the side of the Italians player, I'd be thinking of getting up the castle as soon as possible, but he does have a substantial villager lead, and that's reflected in the score, so maybe he won't be too worried at this point. This little group of army can come in here and completely decimate that wood line if he is quick enough. As we see some moonwalking villagers, they're going to moonwalk to their death. That is unfortunate. Very unfortunate. As we're going to see villagers coming here for some of these kills as well. All of these archer shots missing though. But how much of an inconvenience is it? Just go over to the other island where he's not. You've only really lost the wood camp. It's fine. It's totally fine. As we see a turtle ship come out against unupgraded galleys, that's not going to be a good trade on the side of the Italians, but turtle ships being so slow can just run away from that engagement. A real disadvantage for the Koreans player, but it does allow you to zone him out of destroying that dock. So I like it a lot for player 2. But yeah, I'm seeing a, you know, we haven't seen the third TC for player 2 yet, but I'm seeing a, you know, basically a mirror game from him. Loves to go for that eco play, fast castle into eco. It seems like regardless of which map. I don't consider Koreans a good Pacific Islands civilization after looking at their civ bonuses again. I'm seeing a lot of idle TC time. They're going to go and collectively fish these box turtles. So, you know, overfishing at its worst right there. And we're going to see Garebear go to his second TC, still with an eco advantage. So that just tells me that the fast castle is not being fully taken advantage of. You know, you get so far behind in villages. And when you get into fast castle, you want to go for 3 TCs ideally and retake that villager lead. And by the time this all evens out, Garebear's going to still have the villager lead. So, yeah, I think this is working out just fine for Garebear. Another outpost. These guys are savages with their outposts, honestly. Grape juice, yes. Good to see you. Castles are good for choke points for Koreans. Agreed. Yep, choke points on Pacific Islands. Yep, makes sense. Yeah, maybe. But is that enough to justify them as a pick? You know, with Italians with all their advantages on this map, I think Italians are better. Oh dear, okay. I was talking to Grape Juice too much to see this transport come over to this island. We're going to go to double watchtower, and we're going to have boats. We're going to see the castle 50% up while this happens. Is this going to go up? I don't know, unless these arrows focus fire. He's desperately trying to hammer this building home. We saw the really aggressive castle from him in the last game. We're seeing a super aggressive castle from him in this game. And this castle is not going to go up. This villager is coming in. He's got to be focused down. There's no way another villager gets close to this castle. What an adaptation by Garebear, god damn. Got a wall in this castle just to be sure. Love that for Garebear. He's not leaving anything to chance. And the GG is called. Guys, what are these castles? What are these castles? Why would you risk it so like that? I mean, I guess you either guarantee, well, do you even guarantee the win with that castle? It's funny because he walled this side so they couldn't get in, but this side was left open. Wow, I think this is just so risky. I mean, shout out to player 2. I mean, you're in a tournament setting, you know, so many players go for standard strategies. This guy ain't. He's here to, you know, win it or lose it on a dime, I think, with these castles. The question is, are we going to see another crazy castle drop in game 3? Is he going to stick with it? Yeah, but yeah, that was insane. And I don't even think that wins him the game. If you just move these villages and go to this island, and let's be honest, this island is better than this island. It's got more resources, I would say, just from a glance. With a big villager lead, even if you get that castle up, the amount of villagers you lose away from your economy, this is not even in range of the farming eco or the stone, so it only really gets you up a little bit of gold that's nearly finished, bit of wood. I don't think this wins you the game at all. It's just an unnecessary risk for me. I'm interested to see what Grape Juice thinks. I've done that before because I wanted a quick game. Yep, that is a quick game, that's for sure. Yep, castle in the channel to deny both islands. Yeah, I think that was probably the better play. Grape Juice, rather than the risk it all play. But yeah, shout out to player 2 for taking the risks. Let's see if the risks play out on the third map. Fortified clearing. Alright. What are our predictions here? What are our predictions? Seeing as though player 2 doesn't like a standard build, are we thinking sneaky villager around the side? I'm thinking probably, based on what we've seen so far, fast castle into castle drop. And then adaptation from Garebear. But Georgians, an absolute OP civ. You can see potentially cav raids around the side if these are not walled off quick enough, even in feudal. So you could see some kind of feudal play, but I think what's more likely is the economy play with the fortified churches. I think that's why he's picked Georgians on this map. Yeah, Britons, again, I said this in a couple of sets ago, I don't think Britons are in favour right now in terms of the meta. So it's always a bit of a fascinating play when I see them picked. And, you know, obviously they have the herdable bonus as a eco bonus. I don't believe they have any other eco bonuses. Their TCs cost a bit less, but I think that's the case. So let's have a look. Maybe you can get to 3 TCs quicker with that bonus. Yep, town seals cost minus 50% wood. Starting the castle age, of course. Foot archers have more range, obviously a classic of Britons. Shepherds work faster, and archery ranges work faster. So, you know, exactly what I was thinking in terms of, yeah, the range, the archery, quicker working archery range, and the herdable bonus being a nice bonus to have, maybe good on a 3TC kind of fast castle strategy, but I don't find the eco bonus overwhelming, and I don't find archers to be particularly OP on this map. Georgians, I just think they have an OP economy. Like, you can just leverage that economy into a victory. Like, if you've got a good economy on a semi-closed map, I call this a semi-closed map, as long as Garebear kind of walls this up appropriately and deals with any potential castle on the boundary kind of strategies, it's going to be fine. And I would much rather his civ choice at this moment. 2 boards dead. Working on the TC, love it. Yeah. Of course, fortified clearing is quite a slow map to begin with. What I haven't seen, so it's something to talk about while we see these players transition into feudal and castle age. I haven't seen yet, you know, like we do in platinum, you know, a spearman kind of scout duel in the middle here for relics. You know, if it is a fast castle, it's not to get the relics, it is to do some kind of aggressive play or aggressive unique unit play. Just a couple of days ago we saw, who was it? Back in Black, he did an Ethiopians fast castle play. Well, not necessarily fast castle, but, you know, castle age into the castle and then unique unit with shotels and rams. And he rammed his way into the other player's base. The other player was not prepared at all, and he won the game. So that strategy can work, like a castle unique unit age play. I just think that's not the play for Britons though, because the unique unit is an archer. So you can't necessarily barge into the base and win a quick castle age game that way. Yeah, so as we see 2 picks go down, it's a slaughter. It's an absolute slaughter. With also the gear. You know, I've got to say that some of these matches, there seems to be some nutritional variety for these villages. Different kinds of meats. Got some crops, got some berries, all going at the same time. And we see also some carnage down in Garebear's base as well. So I do see at this level quite a lot that you know, attention is obviously divided in other places to manage the under TC economy perfectly. But I always manage that quite poorly myself, so so yeah. Feudal Age is going to come up quicker for player 2. We see him starting to stockpile those resources though. I think it might be a fast castle, guys. Just saying. Gotta be my prediction. We're gonna see this wood go down on a market and a blacksmith. With these villages on this wood line, actually maybe these villages on these straggler trees popping down super quick. They're even moving into position, maybe. Waiting. And it's gonna be a market. And it's gonna be a blacksmith. Didn't I call it, guys? Fast castle, he's almost there with the resources. Very telegraphed, but well executed by player 2, if I'm being honest. Very well executed, if I'm being honest. But, you know, the strategy after this point, yeah, haven't seen it yet. I mean, we are going to see the same for Garebear, but it is at more on a leisurely pace without sacrificing anything in particular. There's no rush. You don't need to go up this fast, especially when you sacrifice so much potentially in terms of villager count and the like. Yeah. I'm just thinking of what he could possibly do. We haven't seen the villager walk around the side to get in the back to produce some kind of archery range or stable or anything like that. So that's off the cards. Garebear has walled that off. Very well executed. Bidax coming, and we actually don't see any eco upgrades for Garebear at all yet. As I say that, he's going for Bidax. And you know, I'm a terrible arena type, arena player in general. And I always go for eco upgrades at the earliest opportunity, and maybe that holds me back going up for these fast times that these players are going for. So I could probably learn a thing or two from these players. They go for it in the castle age. So yeah, something to keep in mind. These are going to go to start. No, going to go for TCs. So will we see 3 TCs? Need a bit more stone, I believe. Oh no, he doesn't. Is stone included in that bonus? How much is the TC? I've been casting so many games, guys. I have not been playing all that much because I have been mainly casting. Well, I shouldn't say mainly. I have only been casting Age of Empires, so I don't necessarily have that instinctual, you know, costings of everything. But yep, this makes sense for the Britain's player. You've got to take advantage of every advantage that you have, and the advantage is cheap TCs. So like the strategy here. We're not seeing stone, so it is not a longbowman play. So we'll have to see what that play is. Fortified church built. We'll obviously see more of those built over time. And we'll probably see a monk, a warrior priest, come out and go for some relics, I think. I think I would expect that from Garebear. Yeah, but it is actually player 2 that has collected more resources at this point. He's actually got more eco upgrades. So this is, maybe player 2 is trying to, you know, save the set. Play a little more standard. Get those risky thoughts out of his head. Just think, you know what? Britons, I can go 3 TCs, I can go into economy, even though I believe it's not the best economy civ. Yeah, maybe he's trying to play a little more standard here to potentially get that last win. Interesting that this TC's outside, obviously he wants to capture that gold. And actually if we look at that gold, that's quite unfortunate there for Garebear. Although this gold is hanging out here as well, so it's not unequal in terms of resource distribution. Monastery of his own for player 2. But this monk is obviously going to have a bit of a head start, walking at breakneck speed. Can't wait until these monks have their own style and flair to them on the update, rather than everybody being the Pope. Can't all be the Pope. And shout out to the Pope, get well soon, buddy. But yeah, it'd be good to see some. Obviously, it would be quite appropriate for the for player 2, the Britons, to have a Pope-like figure. That probably won't change. But yeah, back to the game. Very even. I don't see one player having an advantage over the other yet. Although the risk collected on the side of player 2 does seem to be creeping up there based on the economy upgrades, and we're going to see another TC. So we're going to see like a full boom here. I would try to wall this off if you're going to do a full boom, 100%. Maybe even a stone gate there, just to protect that economy. Yeah, maybe player 2 is even favoured in this map a little bit now. Grape Juice suggests the held longbow warbles their trebuchet take death ball. Yeah. Yeah. If you can get to it. I mean, there's a lot that has to go right to get to that, I think. And you know, maybe Garebear here is playing this a little too passive. Although I do love the relics. Do love the relics indeed. And we are seeing relics on, you know, the first relic pickup here for Britons. And it looks like he's going to go for this far away one here. Probably should go for this one. Would be nice. But he doesn't even know it's there. He hasn't even scouted the middle. Why not? Guys, that's where a lot of the relics are. That scout unfortunately misses the monk. Could have been an easy pick off, but we're going to see some scouting off the base. Get a bit of intel. Villages, quite a lot of villages coming out here, putting down those watchtowers. Here are those monks. This monk getting this one here. Guys, uncontested relics in the middle. Why? That's what I would say. But yeah, let's have a look at what Blue has seen based on that little scouting mission. He knows that there are 3 TCs at least. He knows that there is some economy down here. Yeah. Imperial coming for player 2. But what can he get for that Imperial? You know, what is he leveraging? Like, Imperial into what? Imperial into hell, it would seem, as he goes for pikemen. You know, I think you can telegraph somewhat that the Georgians will go into cavalry, which is fair enough, what we're seeing with the armor upgrades. Where did those other villagers go? Back home? Even seeing another wall there. This scalp's going to try and pick off this now mauled villager. Going to run away with this villager. This villager can win this fight, I believe. If he's paying attention, but that's fine. Like, unfortunate, of course. But he does have all of these watchtowers now. He's got walls on the side. Barracks. And siege. Okay, and he's arson. We haven't seen any upgrades to men at arms or anything like that. Arson with pikemen, how good is it? I don't know. Don't think they're good. If I'm being honest. Help. So he's really relying upon Garebear to go into Cav, which he is doing, and I think that's a fair call. This castle has not been responded to. You know, he was thinking of doing the same thing that Garebear did to him in building a tower, but is a little bit slow on the uptake, I think, unfortunately, and that's going to neutralize these barracks. Guys, are halberdiers even that strong? Like, they're a counter unit. I don't know if you can build a winning strategy on that. But Garebear should be aware that this is happening now. So it'll be interesting to see how he responds on the side. All of this stone is now Garebear's. Got the tread coming out. Garebear always quicker on the tread, eh? As he gets into Imperial. And I love this. I absolutely love this. Heavy Cav Archer is going to neutralize this. Even with the helms there, like, one ram and helms? Do I care? Do I even care about that? I would just take this fight, yeah. Yeah, it's not cost effective necessarily, but neutralized, right? I might even start putting a stone wall here now if I was Garebear. In fact, I would definitely be doing that. But he's going to send the Cav Archers over to do that. Does he know a castle is here? He does not know a castle is there. He will now that the treads are there. No TCs or anything on these gold in the middle, but that's fine. He's got this gold. I do worry a little bit for the gold, but I guess this is always here when needed. But this trip is going to be sniped. I don't even care about these helps. I just don't. Run out, exactly. We see the Cav Archer number build up as well. So this is going to be completely neutralized. Chemistry and ballistics, well, chemistry is nearly in, ballistics is already in, and this castle has already been tripped down. We've got werewolves coming in. That's how you pronounce it. It's coming in too late, and it's just coming in too late. We've got 3 treads. We've got 4 treads. So the tread play, I just don't think it's going to succeed, and this has been completely neutralized by the Cav Archer switch. That castle is gone. It is gone, and that's the only castle he had. And now all you've got to rely upon as Britons are howlers. It's not a power unit, it's a counter unit. You know, I don't mind help, as long as they're paired with something else though. You know, you can't just have an army with help. You just can't. Because it's just too easy to counter. And they're just all going to go down. I would micro that, but obviously the tension is elsewhere. It's fine. The monk even gets into the action as well. But I think we're going to see the 3-0. Unless something miraculous can happen on this side. I think this is wise. Stonewalling this up is going to, again, delay that when all the pressure is on the front. Villages are going down. Units are being taken out with no repercussions. Cav archers are OP. This is not going to do anything. Even villagers can just deal with that, to be honest. Villagers are the eco is just in tatters. Even if you do get these kickoffs under this castle, doesn't matter. Eco is absolutely in tatters. All on the TC, this is going to be taken down, and all these villages are going to be mercilessly killed in the process. Although, good dash for it. Had the rally point set correctly after that. So hang on just a second. I spoke too soon. We have knights in the base. We have knights in the base. Somehow, from here, they can't get into the base no more because somehow that was patched up even as they entered into the base. So good spirit here from player 2 in the face of death, but this is going to be stabilized. This is not going to be stabilized, I feel. So even though I like it for, like the fight, like the spirit for player 2, it still won't matter. They are all going for this ram, funnily enough, while there's one halberdier tries to take down an entire army. Eventually that will go down and then they will kill that hell. But yeah, you can just sit in this choke point now and tackle anything that comes while you've got free reign over his economy. But yeah, not ideal in terms of Garebear, and we actually see the villager count for player 2 surpass that of player 2. We just see a superior military in terms of the Georgian player, so that will be difficult to overcome, and just this in general being an issue, if they stay on stand ground, that is. I would put them on stand ground so you don't get a situation like this. But those are villager kills, even if some of this army goes down. I'll stand ground right here and just sit there. Trebs have come into action for the werewolf Trebs for player 2 have come into action. So well done. Well done there. Gold on the side. This gold has not been taken. In fact, where is the gold being taken? So this gold ain't been taken. This gold is. This is only gold. Got some gold taken here without a lumber camp. So that's going to be a long, inefficient walk. But yeah, this can all be retaken. And a trip comes to deal with this. But a bit of pressure on this side at the same time. Placing the TC with a mill. Oh, here we go. Some of these villages will now perish. So, high eco kills on both sides. I think Garebear has sustained this a little bit better. I believe these are now on stand ground, which I love. Pick up a few extra kills. Very well played. This will be an issue. Longbowman here as well. Gold here I think is very important. This is fantastic. Cab archers will always be a threat. Well, speaking of stand ground, if you got longbowmen, that would be an issue. But yeah, because we're seeing silently attention for player 2, we do see these treads be a little more exposed, and this castle will go down, but you know, there's not much protecting that, and eventually that will go down. We're seeing Hussar as well, so that's going to be amazing for raids. It really will. Even just one here will be a nightmare to deal with, and that group of Monasper can definitely kill that tread and stop that castle going down. Yes, with one last hit being prevented. This has not been dealt with. That's an issue. Lots of stables coming out, and we see this side be salvaged by Garebear actually. So fair play to him. He's putting up a real fight. He's really turned this around. But again, I think the amount of economy that is being killed here consistently is really going to work in the advantage of Garebear, and you know, we did have that relic advantage as well working for all this time in this longer type game. So I would still give the advantage to Garebear here. Rebuilding the TCs. Getting Hussar over here as well. A lot of archery ranges, so we're going to think skirmishes at some point for this right side. We're thinking of pushing through the middle. That relic lead is now gone. And we're going to put a castle in the situation. And this raid is going to do a lot of damage. And I love it. Even not protecting this tread to carry this out, I think I love. That's going to be neutralized. This side's gone. 80 villages now here for for player 2. Really only this corner remaining as, you know, solid economy. Not really much economy happening here. This being a bit exposed, although somewhat protected. Really wants this side. I just don't think it's happening for player 2. And actually, if you look at the unit difference, we've got basically Garebear being held with the amount of military and economy all together, and we're seeing about 100, so half on player 2. That's not a good sign. And these Hussars with full armor are just going to wreak havoc on the economy and these halberdiers. They can't be everywhere at once. They really can't. Even if this fortified church gets taken down, which it probably will, who cares? Nothing's going to get through here. This is being re-walled, so love the attention to detail. This gold is coming through. We've got 48 on gold. 48 on gold, guys. That's crazy. That is crazy. More troops coming through. We're going to see a strategy not to trickle threat, which is great. As soon as that castle goes down, the game is basically over. I would re-wall this 100%. these characters sitting at the wall. Sure. Accepting their fate. This trap is going to be go. Hell, it is even hesitating there. This castle ain't going to go down. These traps are going to do work while this economy is left to the mercy of the Monasta. Is gone. That economy is shrinking further and further, bit by bit. Health's taken away from this front. This castle, no villagers healing. This trap can go down to Archfire. No matter how little damage Caravite can do to it, with this now, don't matter. And I just don't see player 2 coming back, although I think he really salvaged the game from a position where I didn't really think he had this level of fight left in him. He's done great on the side, great distraction from this forward momentum push, so shout out to player 2. I think he's played a great game. But Garebear just really being consistent. He's just a consistent player of the thing. Yeah, fantastic. And yeah, looking at the stats here with 119 helps, again, I just go back to, I don't know how helps are your opening unit, even against the Georgians. You just want to get to your best unit, which is your archers, right? And then go from there, I would think. But I'm a bit of a noob, so yeah, you just need some kind of, you need to take advantage of the power spike. He got into Imperial and went for help. I just don't think that'd be much of a power play. Economy is always my favourite graph. So yeah, for this early portion of the game, the first like 30 minutes of the game, or 25 minutes of the game, there was a slight lead in economy for player 2, and then it kind of dropped off a bit. Yeah, 42 to 31. I think that's exactly the same numbers as we saw in previous games. Let's have a look at the fortified church play. Obviously you had the fortified church here, but I feel like that bonus was underutilized for the economy. Maybe just forget about it in the heat of the moment, right? Yeah, look at these farms here, just chilling, doing their thing. The Cav Archer switch was perfect with seeing help. I think he maybe had that in mind with going Cav and then into Cav Archer when you see helps. Probably had that in mind. Finally got to the economy, fleshed this out a bit here with player 2. Yeah, just a great set by Garebear, and I think maybe a bit of an impatient set from player 2 as he went for those crazy castle drops in the first 2 games. That, in my opinion, just completely threw the game, both of those games. He had a chance in both of those games. Player 2 needs to go monks, says grape juice. Yeah, I think crossbows, opening, and spears. That would be great if there was the combination, right? But we didn't see a combination, we just saw help. So that was, I think that could be refined a bit. But yeah, guys, it's only been, and then have trips, of course, yeah. Guys, I'm feeling pretty good. I think I'm going to do another set. I was hoping to squeeze in another set as well, so the 3-0 for Garebear, well done, congratulations. Player 2, congratulations on a well fought set. Despite the 3-0, I think you especially salvaged the set in the last game with a really solid game. with a few flaws, but I think it was a good game by you. So great set for both players, and good luck on your next set. But yeah, I think we're going to go for another set. We are going to go for Pasta versus Lord Benji. Okay, so let me just quickly post this in the Discord, and then we're going to get straight into it. So stick with me as we cast another set. Live stream announcements. Another set being covered now at Pasta versus at Lord. Oh, yeah, there he is, Lord Benji. Come along. And then the link. Cool. Let's do this. Actually, let's have a look. One thing I failed to do in the last set, purely by misremembering, is to look at the drafts. Love to look at the draft before we start anything. So yeah, before I get into the set, I have cast Pasta and Lord Benji before. My whole strategy is to cover as many players as possible, so I'm looking for 2 new players each time I do a cast. So I've covered about 12, I've covered 12 players now, and I've covered Pasta and Lord Benji before. They both lost their sets, but played really well. I think both players played really, really well, but managed to lose their sets. Lord Benji to Can't Touch Me, Pasta to Alpha Crit. So, like I said, they played both really well, and actually Lord Benji played extremely well on Pacific Islands. So I'm looking at his map pick here. He's picked Pacific Islands again. Looking forward to seeing how he goes on that map. And Pasta I feel as though Alpha Crit was that level above. He was just so good, Alpha Crit. He just had Pasta's number. So this is kind of like a redemption set, if you will, to see a good matchup between these 2 players. So Kilimanjaro for Pasta, his preferred map. Zong for the admin pick, interesting map, so that will be the first map. Then we'll see for Pasta, very similar Civ picks by memory from his last set. He did play Tatars on Acropolis, I believe. He did play Hindustanis. Italians on Pacific Islands for sure. Tatars for Kilimanjaro, I reckon. And for Zong, not sure. It could be any one of these, maybe a comfort pick. Lord Benji, he's got some gunpowder civs there with Turks and Spanish. So maybe that's a play on Zong, potentially. Magyars, that's got Kilimanjaro written all over it. And Armenians for Pacific Islands, I reckon. That would be my prediction. Alright, let's get into it. See you later, Grape Juice. Good to see you. Let's get into the first game, which is Zong. If I'm being honest, I think Lord Benji has been my favourite player so far in this tournament, in the games that I've cast, especially because he made a monk play on Pacific Islands as his primary unit work against Saracens. He converted 12 Mameluke. It was his 3rd created unit of the game. Completely countered Saracens with monks. It was amazing. He did lose the set, but I think that was the best game I've cast so far. So mad respect to Lord Benji here, and I just love it when a player picks pink as their colour. It's just, I don't know, it just says something about you. I don't know what it says, but I like it, whatever it does say. So yeah, Lord Benji on Spanish. Will we see a fast castle into Conquistador? I think that's likely. Gunpowder sieves are always good on closed maps. Hindustani is one of my favourite civs. How do they go against Spanish? Is my only concern. Spanish obviously going to have Paladin and Conquistadors, so we've got the camel involved to potentially deal with those issues. So I think it's a decent civ to see here on this map. Obviously Gulam doesn't really do much for you, as Spanish can't even get crossbow. So Gulam we won't see, I think. And yeah, fighting for these middle relics as well will be important. Past is just having a little bit of an issue here with getting stuff under his TC with deer and boar and stuff. Difficult to manage in my opinion. Scouting with sheep by Lord Benji here. See, you know, these sheep are antisocial sheep. They don't like to be together. It's very anti-flock-like behaviour, I would say. I think sheep like to congregate together, don't they? Not here, not until the winter of Zong. They're more antisocial on this side. Or maybe it's because they're Spanish sheep. Maybe something about Spanish sheep, I don't know. But yes, I digress. I should really be focusing on who's going to get through to the shrine. Both players going for it. 3 on wood here, 4 on wood, but they go for different trees, understandably. So I don't think we'll see a difference here in the timing for the monks. Yeah, closed map plays out as per usual, quite equal. Not seeing any slip ups or much idle TC time for both players. We see Pastor with the lead because I think he's got that scouting lead. Deer pushing by Pastor, obviously a great play to do that. We see that already being done, finished for Benji, so he's out there with his scout. Pastor's still pushing the last, well there's actually one deer here in the corner. As this deer, I don't know what this deer is doing, but Pastor has struggled a little bit here and he's just going to go for it. That must be frustrating on the side of Pastor. Why would the deer run that far? I don't know. Want to see another wood camp? Maybe get access to both of these shrines. Haven't seen that as a play yet. And I don't think he'll get through in time here. Still got to go through a whole other 150 wood. Whereas we actually see Pastor, he's going to get through first. There's only 60 wood on that tree. So Pastor's going to have the advantage here for monks. Farms already, you know, I always see it as a bit of a, I hesitate to say mismanagement when you see farms in Dark Age. You should have enough food to get by into feudal, especially if you've got those 2 sheep there. I don't know if you need to go into farms yet. Love to get horse collar down on before I get to any farms. Although I see farms on the side of Lord Benji as well, so maybe I'm just wrong. Could be just wrong. See the feudal age for Benji already. And we're actually a little while away. No, we've got feudal age now for pasture as well, so you know, about 40 seconds behind there. They'll play into some monk advantage, but even though feudal age is going to come quicker for Benji, he's still not through with the trees, and I'm assuming now this is open for a monk. And actually this could be produced in Dark Age. I thought this could only be produced in Feudal. So this is a Dark Age monk. Very interesting. I thought it was only allowed to be produced in Feudal. So there you go. This, well, with 4 villages on this, is going to be through very quickly. And I'd love to see a monk being produced now. But we're going to see Market Blacksmith for Benji, so it's fast castle play. He's nearly got the resources to execute this. We see the same on past day, he's going to do the exact same thing. There's Blacksmith, and there's the market. So nothing surprising there. Bit of a scout battle. Benji's going to win that if he keeps the hill advantage, especially, well, yeah, no Tatars, sorry, I thought for a second one of them were Tatars. No hill advantage there. We see Castle Age coming to Benji very quickly. You know, I might have even liked to see another monk produced here, just to make sure you get that advantage. Do we have a monk? We don't have a monk yet for Benji. So he's going to be behind in this for the relics. He's really going to be behind. Of course, you can't produce a monastery until Castle Age, so you're really just getting the relics back into your base as Pastor is just taunting me there. So close, there he goes, drops it off. That's all you need to do. And you go for the next one. Obviously risky in the sense that we don't see any stables here to control the middle by Pastor when you're going out there with these monks. I would take this. I wouldn't be bringing this to your. He's gonna heal. That, okay. That is OP. For some reason, I didn't expect that much healing. Well played by Pastor. Very well played. Pastor's come to play on Zong. See, taking TC here for Benji. We're going to see Spearman. That's gone. Spearman to protect, but we already see 2 relics here on the side of Pastor. And we're in archery range. Okay. I would have expected scouts and spears. These villagers just watching these relics, making sure they can't touch it. Only a monk can touch a relic. Feels like this handle could be touched by a villager, but no. Relics are reserved only for monks, guys. Don't you dare touch that relic. You lowly villager. You are not worthy. But we see 1 relic now on the side of Benji. I'm going to see a monastery to actually put the relics. I'd like to see this monastery back. I know the pros and platinum and gold and stuff like that put at the front so that they can get it to the monastery quicker. We're not pros, guys. We're not pros. I would want a protected monastery, personally. Okay, so this monk stops and he realizes this relic is gone. But we're going to see a relic on the other side go to Benji. So 3-2, pretty even split. Good job by both players to really play this map appropriately. They've obviously prepared for this map well going into this game. And what we're going to see on the side of Pastor, and yeah, sorry, I should have said that monks are the only ones that can put relics inside a monastery. Interesting little wrinkle there. But yeah, we're going to see a castle on the side of Pastor. And I think we're going to see that castle be dropped now. And that's a cautious castle, I would say. I guess you don't know what your enemy has on the field, so you do need to be cautious there. But yeah, I would like to see it pushed up maybe a little bit. Yeah. I just realized I wasn't even on, guys, I wasn't even on the right game. I was still in the browser. Typical noob, eh? Typical noob. Many apologies. I can only apologize. That's unfortunate. I don't know quite how to fix that. That's just my fault. Yeah, just got to go on. Okay, so if I'm going to edit this, I'll edit it and say we're coming in halfway through the game. Do Lord Benji and Pastor's set. And we've got, a bit of an advantage for Benji. Got a bit of an advantage. He's managed the economy well. Managed the economy well, and 2 relics, nothing to sneeze at all. And he's going to go into triple stable. Or should I say, quadruple stable. With a bunch of health. Oh guys, I'm so disappointed. I can't hide my disappointment that I had it on the wrong slide there. I was still on the draft. So please forgive me, and we'll try to forget about that and continue onwards. But yeah, got castle on the gold. Position-wise, I prefer Pastor. Economy-wise, I prefer Benji. He's going to turtle this up. And, we did see in previous sets that you do have enough gold on the bag, especially with this double saturation of gold. You have enough. You have enough gold to work with and maintain for a long time. And you've got a bit of gold on the outside as well. 1 stone and 1 gold. So this gold is not that important to secure, but it is a good thing to have. It is definitely a good thing to have. So yeah, this is an interesting choice on the side of the Spanish player. Going into Hindustanis, you're wanting to go for some kind of knight play. Are we thinking paladin? As we see the Imperial Ages come out at the same time. Yeah, are we thinking paladin when you know that camel, the Imperial camel, is an option for Benji, for the Hindustani player? Yeah, I think that might be a little bit of a tactical misplay, but at the same time, there's 6 tables, so you can get a lot of paladin out very quickly if you go that route. Inquisition, I'm not exactly sure what that is, to be honest, what that special tech does. But we're not seeing any production buildings yet, although here we go, we're seeing stables now and we're seeing camels. So this is the perfect response. You won't necessarily know what's going on back here, but he's opting for the camel play. And we're seeing some monk picks as well. Devotion. Harder to convert. We're seeing devotion on the side of pastor as well. Guys, if I'm being honest, have I ever seen this pick before in my life? No, I have not. I have not. So going for a wall up strategy across that part for each player. Seeing some farms on the outside. I see the economy balance for Lord Benji really playing tonight. They both laugh as they go up to Imperial Age at the same time. Seeing the Cavalier upgrade come in. We're seeing missionaries. Missionaries, guys. Have we even seen missionaries on a map as well? Again, we saw an amazing monk play for Lord Benji in previous games on Pacific Islands. We're going for monk pick, block printing, gives him more range. I think that's important for conquistador inquisitors, missionaries, what are they called? The monks on the horses, they have low range, but high mobility. This trip is in range of the castle, which is interesting. And we've got the camels coming in. Heavy camel rider coming in. Imperial camel will follow soon after, although we have the missionaries. And if you get any of those conversions, you're going to convert these monks on the other side, and they're going to potentially convert the camels. One camel converted. Very interesting. More text coming out. Goodness, I've never seen a player be so focused in on monks as Lord Benji is. But we're seeing an appropriate switch down to light cav. But that's obviously not going to do the trick against Paladin, which shouldn't be that far away. Although, not quite seeing the gold for it yet. Seeing a lot of stone. So we might be thinking another castle. But as that stone runs out, there's going to be no more. Town centre in the middle, I would perhaps have liked to see that a little bit earlier. And we're only seeing 6 on gold for past right now. I'm a little bit nervous for him. With this unit combination coming out. Where are these light cabs? They're in here. But these should be in full production as soon as possible, and I would like to see more production buildings, if I'm being honest. These trebs are 3 to 2. Seeing Gulan come out, and actually a lot of the units are stuck in this building. Fighting under the tower, don't love it. Don't love it for Benji. Don't think it's necessary to go for those trebs, because now your trebs aren't necessarily all that well protected either. But the conversions are going to be huge if they get them, and not seeing perfect micro there for Benji. In fact, he only got 1 camel converted, so the monk play not working there. The castle does go down, but these trebs are also going to go down, so who wins that? You know, not quite sure, to be honest. I think you still have control of the middle if you're Parsi. You now have some, you know, counter units to the missionaries here, and man, those missionaries are fast, eh? So not quite so easy to catch up to them with the light cav. See that this is blocked off. University coming in, even economy game. Halberdier is going to be huge for a Spanish player. I thought I was going to see Paladin, but he held on that to see what the camel response is going to be. Where are these villages going? I have no idea. Walking out into potentially their own death. But yeah, that's a lot of barracks, and those barracks can, well, 4 barracks, it's a reasonable amount of barracks. But that will be able to counter some of this camel play. Obviously these camels could have prevented this trebuchet from going down. What are these? This is a lot of idle time, guys. Why? 51 villages. Building mining camps, 3 mining camps, and a barracks. I guess they were all saturated on this. And he ran out of gold and was desperate for gold and then went to this side. I can only imagine that was the rationale. Building deleted as it was trying to be converted. And I think Past is a little bit flat-footed here. He doesn't quite know what the answer is to Halberdier. He's searching for answers. I would be going into some archery ranges, which he does have, and hand cannoneers. So he is thinking of that. Need more of these archery ranges for sure, I would say. Got 20 on gold, and that is this mid-gold. Would like to see more on gold if I was Pastor. As these light cabs are going to do some raids as these villages come through. But yeah, the light cab option is now basically finished in my opinion, as we see all these halberdiers, so don't mind throwing them away necessarily. Don't like to throw away units for sure, but this will be super annoying for Benji for sure. Because now they'll have to walk a mile to actually get that gold. Unfortunate that that trip went down. Don't like to see camels ever go head-to-head with halberdiers. Yikes! I think you know, that could have been microed a bit better, and you would even run away with some of these. Although they'll go back for the last camel. I wouldn't say value there, but fair play, fair play. And we see the advantage here dissipate. for Pasta in terms of the military lead. And yeah, you just need to mass more and more of these hand cannons. And to be able to do that, you need to be able to take gold, and this gold has been disrupted. We'll need to see some migration over to this side gold eventually, I would think. Light cav, I would not be producing. It just does. I mean, raiding, I guess, is the thought here, but you see so many halberdier on the floor here. Just not worth it in my opinion. And we can't see any of these halberdiers going to Castle Park because we need to build up these numbers. Oh, yikes. We've got to build the numbers, and that's not going to help. But, you know, I do understand that the light cav are coming in here to disrupt this gold, but, you know, they're hesitating on actually attacking any villages. And Benji is actually going to take the advantage here now that these are unprotected hand cannoneers to potentially come in and snipe them. So I'll keep running if I was Hudson. Keep running. Because that's not a good matchup, and Paladin has come in as well. It should be mentioned. If you can get into a choke position, you know, with a few camels in here, it's actually not the worst. It's not the worst at all. But like I said, you need the numbers for hand cannoneers. And we've got 19, it's not bad. It's not bad. But yeah, you need kind of a big ball of hand cannoneers to make that work. I do like the Treb addition. The siege elephants are not going to fare well. They're not going to fare well at all. And I suspect that this castle is going to be delayed when hand cannons are sitting on it, but not for long. That Treb is going to go down, unfortunately. And you can always just buy more and more helps. They're like an infinite resource, so I don't like the position that these hand cannons are in. But this castle will go down. This castle will go down. Camels will come out, but Trebs are there waiting, so it's almost like a sitting duck kind of castle. I guess he's trying to think about getting villagers off this gold, which is fine. Have we seen the unique set come in here for pasta? Would be good to have, obviously. I think both units have gone into a unit combo that is working well for them. It's just about who comes out on top. We're seeing a huge amount of camels now, and that is going really well here. So he's really picked up the unit production. This castle still might not hold. And we're even seeing a bombard cannon, which is a very promising sign, if you ask me. And this castle's going to stay up. It's going to stay up. I did not think there was any chance that the castle stays up. So the production really coming in clutch here for pasta, saving the day. And of course the rally point is up here somewhere for the halberdiers, so they're just going to get picked off. So pasta's really built in a bit of a lead now. So well done by him. Could see another bombard cannon here coming to speed up this process a bit. What are these villagers doing? They're running to their death. They're going to attack the hand cannoneers. Brave, very, very brave. Very, very brave indeed. So we're seeing the advantage definitely on the side of pasta. Now, I wouldn't have picked it with the way that the game was going. You know, I think Lord Benji was kind of doing very well there for a while with the missionaries in particular. and looked like a skilled play, a lot of skill there, but I think that the numbers here for Pasta are just overwhelmed. And the camel, again, maybe it's just a strategic failing here, going paladin into camel. I said that at the start. It's not an ideal kind of matchup, but a matchup that is expected. I wonder what the win rates are between these two. I would expect that Hindustani would usually take this win. We saw no conquistadors. Do see a lot of armies still though for Benji. His gold is low though, which is what will concern me. And unless he regains access to this gold, it's going to be tough to get this win, I think. Or unless he can do some kind of raid around the side here to get rid of this gold for Pasta. Yeah, this will be interesting. This will be very interesting. Because I feel as though this is the last push here for Benji. These paladins need to get on top of these hand cannoneers for sure. But Pasta is microing as well. As a consolation prize, he's going to go for siege, which will slow this down. But this isn't going to go well. Even with them surrounded by health, the hand cannoneers are still going to come out on top. And you've got camel in the mix now as well. If we look at the resources on Benji, he's completely spent all of his resources, and he's got no gold. So, I think that's basically the last gasp. He can produce halberdiers infinitely, basically, but he's got no access to gold. And he calls it GG. 103 paladins produced, but 123 camels produced on the side of Pasta. Well done, Pasta. That was a great game. I would say a bit of a good Civ matchup for Pasta, but I think he executed really well. Like I said with the hand cannoneers, maybe a little bit late, but he did get there. And I was concerned about him building the appropriate numbers as well. And actually, if you look at these hand cannoneers, they've killed 156 units. So we saw halberdiers just continuously being produced, and they just went to the firing lines basically. Good job, Pasta, and recognizing that this gold is all he would have, considering you've got this gold on the side. Good strategic play, good adaptation. Just a great game. Well played. We are going to go to Kilimanjaro, guys. So we got Pasta on the Tatars, which he did pick in his last set, so must be a favourite of his. I got Magyars, which I was expecting on this map for Benji in his draft. And I think it's a good Civ matchup. I think it's quite an even Civ matchup. Both Cav Archers Civs as well, so they might see both Civs go for that unit. What would be interesting, you do have some fish down here. Some players like to mill it. Some players even like to dock it and then go into fish traps. I don't see these particular Civs going for that. A Malay player might go for that. But any player could really go for it. But it is kind of a less common strategy seen at this level, I would say. Magyars, I keep on saying it every time I see them in a match. They're going to go for scouts. Go into feudal, go into scouts, look for pickoffs. If you can defend from that, you're doing well. It's going to be a spear defense from the Tatar player probably, or matching their scouts. They can obviously go into scouts of their own quite well, but you're at a disadvantage for a little while because the Magyars get forging as soon as they age up basically. So scouts versus scouts is not necessarily a great strategy, but yeah, we could see it. I would probably prefer a spear defense before going into my own scouts, because you know in the Magyar fight, Magyars don't have any economy bonus, so they'll waste all their money, waste all their food on scouts, not get any economy pickoffs, and then you can kind of snowball that. That's how I kind of see Magyars playing out most of the time. But there is something to be said, even if you don't get an economy pickoff, if you can distract, disrupt the enemy's base, have all the action on the enemy's base, not on your own base, you know, that can work quite well, even if you get 0 eco pickoffs. Yeah, so I think this will be a great matchup. Tatars in particular, I love, and like I've said before, Tatars are my favourite civ in the entire game. Kilimanjaro is where their hill bonus can come in the most. Them obviously have an advantage on the hill more so than other civs. Again, I love seeing this in every single game I see. Diet variety. You can't just live on elephant meat. You got to have a bit of goat meat, and you got to have a little bit of zebra meat. You got to have some variety. And you know, we're even going to diversify into fish. So these are healthy villages, very carnivorous villages. But you can't just live on one food source. You can't just live on goat. What about on the side of Benji? Zebra and elephant, a little less diverse. So even though the villager the villagers are equal on both sides, I give the advantage to Pasta because their villagers are that much stronger. Why not? Why not? Seeing some deer pushing. The deers are a little bit further out than some of these other players in Brick Bracket. I say that, but the villagers are here for Benji as well. We're going to see both players mill their fish. Slightly disappointed. I want to see some dock and fish traps because I love that. It might delay your feudal time a little bit actually, if you invest so much wood in a dock and then fishing ships, but it's a little bit different, I think. I like this one. Now, if I'm Benji, I think I've played well. I think I've played my sets really well, but haven't managed to pick up the wins yet. We've got one win so far at this stage of the tournament. You know, this set took place a little while ago, so I don't know quite what he has played since, but based on the previous set and then this set, you know, I'll be thinking, man, I played so well up until this point and I've got one win. I really want to win, is what I'll be thinking if I was him. So maybe we see some desperation plays, or we see him step it up that little bit further. I don't know. But I can say that he's executing this scout rush, or preparing for the scout rush, to perfection, because the barracks is up, it's going to be in feudal. He's got these villages on fish, which can sustain for some time some scouts, and he's got goats left and berries left. So he shouldn't have any issue, as these villages are a little stable. We won't see any issue with him sustaining the scouts for a while. We've got the forging for the Magyars, of course, already coming into play. We're weakening some villages as soon as we get to feudal with forging, which, you know, he'll be able to come back to these villages eventually, but love this from Pasta. He knows Magyar's, right? He knows the scout rush is coming. Everybody knows it. He already has a spearman. He doesn't even have to see a stable, although he probably has seen a stable. He has great scouting from Pasta. Knowing what your enemy is doing is crucial, so good job to him. You can telegraph it, but obviously you want to make sure that is what is happening. And we see spears on every part of the base. Yeah, good job. So we're going to see some scout production here for Pasta as well. I love the name Pasta, by the way. That's such a good name. So simple, so effective. Good job. Lord Benji, you know, it's a little more, can I say egotistical, right? Like, you're a god, right? Like, I'm a god of the game, I'm Lord Benji. But I also love it at the same time, because it's like, I'm here, I'm playing this tournament, I'm good, I'm going to pick up some wins. You know, you got to be confident going into these tournaments. So I love the name. I love the name. I love both of these players' names. And generally speaking, players in this tournament put a lot of thought into their names. So that's quite entertaining. Yeah, looking at the eco balance, we've got none on gold for both players, which is interesting. We're seeing some, you know, some villages are not participating in the economy for Benji. That's because they're going to gold. So we're going to see some gold mined. Don't know why we're mining so much gold. I think we'll find out soon, but there's a little dance around the trees. Unfortunate there for Benji. These scouts come around the back, but they're going to run into spears as well. Market here for Benji, as he's probably thinking, you don't need a blacksmith of course, you already get forging for free. So he's probably thinking castle age. But we're also thinking castle age with a blacksmith for Pasta. But he doesn't even get on gold. Where is his gold, by the way? Front gold here, and this gold is quite far away. He does see it though, so he knows it's there. This gold I much prefer. Back gold for Benji. So that is fortunate, but this gold is also very far away. It's hard to access. So in terms of the actual map, I always like to see a bit of how the it's T90’s that creates the maps, right? I believe so. How he kind of changes the maps a little bit, and do we see less resources on top of the hill there? It'd be interesting to know. But we have this wood line to the side. Wood lines are interesting in this game, and how they're managed. But this is quite a sizable wood line. So less of a need to go up to wood if you're past through. And actually, looking at the wood lines for Benji, they're not favourable at all, are they? Not. I can see why he's gone out to this wood, because this is a much better position map-wise for Pasta, that he doesn't need to go out here potentially for wood, or here. He can stay on the base, but if you got he can come back here for wood. He can come back here for wood. So the wood is actually a bit of an issue for Benji, and we even see some inefficiency here. Might even need to re-camp that. That's actually really unlucky for Benji. but he is going to castle age first. So let's see what he can do with that. But yeah, I just really don't rate Magyars as a civ really. I've seen them win. I've seen them win on ravines, as they were able to get into Cav Archer, and if you can get to Cav Archer, you know, you're probably playing the Magyars correctly and you have a shot. But yeah, I just think they're a little bit predictable, especially in the early game. Vodka arrow for Benji would indicate Cav Archer, which we have right now. A little concerned about this base being so hemmed in and small. You know, if the opposite player can ever, you know, kind of blockade you in this own little space, then you could be in trouble. But interesting to see that, you know, the Tatar player has gone more into light cav than the Magyar player, which I wouldn't have expected. But we see light cav, we see heavy, what am I saying? We see Cav Archer from Benji, which is good to know. But we're probably going to see Cav Archer as we see Bloodlines and Padded Archer armor come through. We're going to see the same on the side of the Tatars. So it's a Cav Archer map for sure. And getting that hill for the Tatars is going to be very important to utilise that bonus. I shouldn't say very important, it's important. It's not going to break the game necessarily, but it would obviously be nice to have. Now, being in range here is so annoying. So annoying. It's going to be TC. Oh, that's unlucky. They can actually reach those villages. And they are trapped there, basically. That is unlucky. But we're going to see Cav Archer of his own for Pasta. He's a little bit behind in the production. I believe we have 10 of these on the floor for Benji, so there is a bit of catch up to play. But Benji has Bodkin. He's going for ballistics as well, so we need to see some of these upgrades come in for Pasta as well. We'll see what these players pair with these units as well. Is it just going to be straight Cav Archer, or is it going to be a combination of units? I think we've found our answer. We've seen a camel being produced, which I think is not a bad addition from the Tatar player, because I think camels do quite well, as long as they have husbandry, of course. But love this from Pasta, and we saw this in ravines from Pasta. Once he sees Cav Archer and he sees them threaten the base, he will go Scorpions. And Scorpions are a great addition to stave this off. So loving that. We're not seeing much army production here for Pasta. That would concern me a little bit. We need to catch up in terms of the Cav Archers. It is 12 to... Has this been open the whole time? Oh my god. Oh, he got a wall there. Those are a good shot by the Scorpion. He's going to go into a manga now, actually. This could get dicey for Pasta quite quickly, and we see him focus a lot of his energy into this as well. So we're seeing a bit of idle TC time from Pasta. So he is obviously very stressed at this point. Cav Archers go right past the Siege Workshop, away from that mangonel. So we needed to see some walling occurred there, and this is a lot of idle PC time. This is heavily in favour of Benji at this point, I would say, especially as he's managed to keep his idle TC time down. Although we don't like to see them run into the town centre there. Oh no, that is really unfortunate. Really, really unfortunate. His attention must be elsewhere. I believe he could have just run away with the game if he had kept that ball up. So something just to work on there a little bit for Benji, but he did seem to be okay with losing those units as they just stood there. I believe he was like, they're dead, so so be it, would be my option, my assumption. I would have liked to see them just stay on this wood line, keep these villages off here for a little bit longer. But, you know, maybe he was focusing on TC in the middle. Maybe he was focusing on rebalancing his economy. Why not, when you've got a lead such as this, making sure that your economy is balanced so that you can keep the advantage or have what you need to do whatever the next step is. Yeah, don't hate it, don't hate it. But yeah, Pastor's got a lot of work set up for him. At this level, I like Scorpions against Cav Archers. I think Mangonels at a lower skill level, at this 1200, 1300 level, you may be able to land some good shots, but I think it's a bit of a gamble. I would get like 3 Scorpions, I guess, to counter any Cav Archer play, but we're not seeing any military production on the side of Benji, which would indicate to me that he's trying to get to Imperial, or maybe just focusing on his economy, or he's focusing on a castle, because these villages are coming out. Doesn't quite have enough to buy a castle, I would say. He's got stone going, so maybe he's working his way to a castle, but these are coming for gold. Yeah, I just wonder what the strategy here is for Pastor, because it feels like he's going into military. Well, they're both really going into military, not hard. We don't see ballistics for Tatars yet, which I think is a pretty crucial tech to get at this point of the game. And even though we spoke about the favourable wood lines for Pastor, they're going to run out. You know, he does have this one at the back. This one is basically exhausted. Yes, the castle is going up. These units, these villages are going up for wood line, I believe. We don't see any potential for a castle on the side of Pastor. He's actually going after this golden wood, so not going for the middle at all. You know, and that's, I like the sneaky play. He obviously, Lord Benji won't know anything about that, and that's going on. But yeah, obviously Kilimanjaro, the hill is very important, and Benji has that hill with an eco advantage, so strongly favour Benji's position right now. But if you can run past it all and pick off potentially 14 villages, although without ballistics will make that difficult, we could see a bit of a swing. But 18 to 15 Cav Archers, these Cav Archers have ballistics, that's going to make a difference. They're also uphill, this hasn't been microed away, so Benji is going to clean up there, despite the villager kills. Yeah, and this Imperial time is huge. we're not going to see Imperial from past it anytime soon at all. As we're seeing ticks come in instead of favouring Imperial, and could be a mistake. Could be a mistake. And one of those ticks is not ballistics, so the one tick that he probably needs, he's not getting. And this compact base is working well because there's no damage to find. Could just easily, again, ballistics could have been used, could have been useful, and now this army is exposed. So definitely the advantage to Benji. Ballistics coming in now. Okay, a bit late, but good to see that it's coming in at least now. So yeah, this army is going to be completely surrounded. There's no chance of this army getting out of here alive, and their attention can then focus on the middle. Double castle as well, so even in a castle war with trebuchets uphill, that's going to work to Benji's favour. Bracer coming in now as well, so this is all working to perfection. Trebuchets, love to see the trebuchets come in immediately. Pet peeve of mine when they don't come in immediately. It's such a big advantage to get into Imperial first. Is trebuchet versus non-trebuchet. So well done. Got to see that castle there as well, on the side of Benji. So, actually we don't see it yet. So we're going to go for that town centre first. Oh, I need more troops coming through, for sure. Although parking tactics I do love, so he's focused on that. But need to see the troops coming here as soon as possible. Having said that, we're not on Imperial for Pastor at all, and we're not going to see it for a while. So we do have a bit of time in Imperial Age uncontested. He's now going to see that castle. He's now going to move that tread to attack that castle probably. Those villages are going to go down, extending that lead even further. And these cave archers won't be able to do anything against these troops. So great game here from Benji. We're going to see a 1-1 situation going into the third game, so that's going to be exciting. Do you see some knights? I don't think that's an issue necessarily. Conscription even coming out. A lot of free hits here on this army. A lot of free hits. When they've got Bracer uphill, just think you need a little bit more. I know that you're behind, you've got to make something happen, but I don't know if that's the play. But, easy for me to say when I'm sitting here. Yeah, and now I feel as though it's Benji's game. You can just sweep in further, recurve bow coming in, so these cav archers are going to be fully upgraded, especially when we see heavy cav archer come in. This is going to be unstoppable. Unstoppable to the extent that I was wondering if skirmisher might be the play. But obviously you need all skirmishers to handle this as well. And there's just not enough time. And this is going to be a bloodbath, guys. Another castle coming out to solidify this position. No castle left on the side of Pastor. Not even a defensive that castle where you can produce troops from. So Pastor really has to deal with this army or die. I don't feel as though you have the army to do that. He's going to try and get this uphill bonus. Even if he gets the uphill bonus, I don't think it matters at this point. And I think we're going to see the GG call. At least very shortly, yes, there we go. So, well played from Benji there, well executed on the Cav Archer play. Cav Archer are broken, guys. Like, I feel as though if you're going to go against Magyars, you know, counter the Cav play that initially will inevitably come to you, and then hit right back immediately, because as soon as they get to those Cav Archers, you might be in trouble. As we saw, even a civ that can match the Cav Archers in the Tatars, the Magyar Cav Archers are just that little bit better. So, well played from Benji. Well played indeed, and good job on getting this middle position early. I think that's key in Kilimanjaro. Stats. Economy. Yeah, we just saw it take off there for Benji. Yeah, very well played. APM. Yep. In terms, actually, seeing it from the last game, we saw 31 and 42 with, you know, the ones. So even though Benji's got the lowest out of this group that I've seen so far, very effective with that APM, I would say. So a lot of respect there. But yeah, we have one more game. It's got to be the deciding game for the set, and it is Pacific Islands, a Benji classic. Dare I say, I've only seen him play it once, but he was very good on it. And we're going to see some classic civs, or some very well suited civs to the map. Italians, Armenians. Italians, obviously pretty standard. You almost expect that one player on Pacific Islands is going to be Italians, which is quite curious actually, because Italians never really made it to the Pacific in terms of colonization and all that kind of stuff, but yet we see them on Pacific Islands all the time. They're obviously well suited to the map with their ship bonus, or at least their fishing ship bonus, and all their techs that they have regarding ships as well. But Armenians, obviously great ship civ as well. I might just do a quick refresh on the Armenians, but I think their galleys get an advantage. I know Saracens fire faster, galleys fire faster. Actually, I know what it is. Armenians fire an extra bolt. Armenians, AOE2, bonus. I believe it's an extra arrow. And they get Germans, of course. So, very good civs for water. They get Silesian fleet as well. Demolition ships get 20% blast radius. Galley line and Droneman's 1+ range, so that's going to be a critical tech to get. In terms of bonuses, mule carts technologies cost less, and their technologies are 40% more effective. Galley line and drones fire one additional projectile each, so that's pretty powerful on a map like this. If we look at this map is pretty interesting. We saw a little bit of an imbalance on the size of the islands in the previous set, but this is a ginormous island, and this is a little teardrop island. So whoever gets this island I would assume that both of these players are going to try for this island first, but control of this island is going to be huge. Pastor going for the dock, same with Benji. Actually, we've got Benji here in the chat. Good to see you, brother. We're coming in at 1 apiece. Last map, Pacific Islands. Yeah, I don't know how much you've been seeing on the stream. It seems like you've just come in, but I was saying, you know, I've been super impressed with your play. Again, I was super impressed with the monk play on the last Pacific Islands that you played. So you've picked this map again as your home map. So interested to see if there are any shenanigans that are going to occur here as well. And yeah, I thought your strategy on, I think you were unfortunate on Zom that you picked Spanish and you picked the Hindustanis, which in my opinion wasn't a favourable matchup, paladins versus camels. But I did think you played it well still. And then obviously Magyar's on Kilimanjaro was executed to perfection. And now we're on your home map. And actually you beat Pastor on his home map, which is Kilimanjaro. So yeah, let's see if you can hold on to your home map advantage. But yeah, we're seeing 2 fishing ships apiece right now. Some idle villages are going to go chop some stragglers. Always love to see the scouting on Pacific Islands. Pastor has seen a large portion of the big island, and Pastor has seen, Benji has seen both islands, so he'll be able to make an informed decision on what is the better island to go to, that being the big island, I would assume. But we see a quicker feudal time from Benji as he gets housed, unfortunately. But we see him on the big island, which is the right play. Need to get control of this island as soon as possible. But we might see, well actually, where is this transport ship gone? So it was miles away, so I have to come in and transport some villages. Yeah, well, interesting to see if we'll go for any early dock fishing ship kills. I always find it interesting in Pacific Islands, or just maps in general actually, that you know, I tend to overboom on the fishing ships even early. Looks like the players to get that early advantage by going for 2 or 3 fishing ships, maybe 4, but don't go crazy early with the fishing ships. Maybe go fishing ships a bit later. But actually, if you look at the map, there are less fish here than I would expect from a Pacific Islands map. Maybe that's part of the coding of the map that could be a little bit different. Less fish, as we see a scout war that Pastor's going to win, but we'll get as much scouting done on Benji's side in the meantime. But yeah, very little fish, so maybe the fish aren't as important on this map as I had assumed. But yes, Pastor's on this side of the island now as well. So both are chopping wood. Gonna see a barracks. So we might see some early aggression here. Fire ships on the side of Pastor. So we might see him go for the fishing ships here, but there is a bit of investment on both sides in water. here we go, 2 fire ships versus a fire ship and 2 galleys. I think even I would prefer, and he escapes with 5 HP, so that's very nice for Pasta to get a kill there, but obviously this fire ship will go down as well. But blacksmith, archery range. So we're going to see Italian's going to go archery range, which is great to see. We want them to go for a unit that is a strength of theirs. We don't know this wood camp is here, so we haven't necessarily scouted this island to perfection. Actually, we saw Benji save his scout. So the scout on the side of Pasta has taken a bit of a rest. He may have been able to scout this and immediately got these archers to work. Benji going for the gold as well. Love to see. Got a bit of idle time here on Pasta. Don't know where those villages are. I guess they're in a ship waiting to come across. Makes sense. Yeah, what are they going to go for? A house. Nothing too exciting. We see a bit of a naval battle here. Fire ships versus galleys. Obviously, if you can micro the galleys, you'd win. But at this level, attention obviously has to be elsewhere at times at the APM we're looking at. So personally, I like fire ships. We're going to see a market and potentially a blacksmith coming up for a castle age up time. But I would say this is heavily in favour so far of Italians in terms of the ships. But this is excellent micro here, sending the weak ones away. But it will give the victory to Benji. And maybe that's an Armenian bonus coming into play with double arrows, being that much more effective against, not going to counter fire ships per se, but at least making an impact. But we actually see fletching on the side of the Italians, so there is a bit of an advantage there for them. Interesting battle, interesting naval battle. We see some kills from Pasta with these archers. Not going to take down a mule cart all that easily with archers, even at point blank range. I think about shooting the donkey in the head as a one-hit KO, golden gun situation. And actually those were the villages on that wood line. So I guess in all of that, some of these villages were taken over to this island, or perhaps those villages were also killed, I'm not sure. Is this some debris of a mule cart? Not sure. Missed that, apologies. But this island is firmly in the hands of Pasta. It's very apt that Pasta chose Italians, don't you think? It's very thematically on point. Yeah. Got to go for a market on the side of Pasta as well. Expecting that blacksmith, actually it's already down. I say that we're already a minute into researching Castle Age. Lord Benji says, oh, there are shenanigans coming. So I look forward to it. I look forward to it. Well, there's got to need to be shenanigans to win this game, because you are operating at a disadvantage currently, I would say. But this is a little bit of shenanigans. Very bold, I would say, on the part of pastor, you know, the play on the home island is always overlooked, I would say. That's very disruptive. Very disruptive indeed. Good dodging of the TC. Good attentiveness. But we are going to see double TC on a small island. Not a position you necessarily want to be in. But I prefer the Navy control from Benji. So this game's going to get messy. This game's going to get very messy. But the castle age uptime is going to be well in the favour of Benji as he gets that war galley upgrade. So pushing past it back here on water, but at the same time you're not going to get this island back very easily, even if you do control water. As Pastor's going to come back on water, he needs more docks, obviously. Oh, unfortunate that yeah, came out, but that's fine. Pastor gonna jump off this island after doing enough damage. And yeah, need more docks. Need more docks if this is gonna work. Although love the demo hit. Great demo hit. We are operating at a bodkin fletching disadvantage. So we'll see some regrouping from Benji here, and we'll see him retake that naval lead, potentially. We are seeing more war galleys come out as well, and another migration to the small island perhaps. But here Pastor is building that dock, but it's a little too late. A little bit too late. Oh, another great demo hit though. Demo hits on galleys, don't see it all that often, as I can obviously keep distance, but with all these choke points, you know, it's a bit difficult to stop that from happening. Fireship might be able to take this down though, perhaps. Especially if we get the weak ones early. And the TC involved. Pastor is on point, I've got to admit. Great job by Pastor. I'm going to see a dock on the front as well. So, Pastor's really going all out here. Wants to get that series win. I think long term, this is gonna be rough for Benji. He needs to maintain that control on water to have a shot in order to get onto the island again, onto the big island. Are we gonna see some crazy castle drop like we did in the last set? By player 2 and his crazy castle drops on Pacific Islands. Maybe. I do love the watchtower additions. And wow, he's got a town watch or something because they can see a mile. So nothing's going to take him by surprise. Although, here he is, he's landed. He has landed. And it's fortified church. Not something I was expecting. Wasn't expecting that at all. These crossbows don't need to die unnecessarily. Interesting to see what the response is. I would perhaps get some siege in here to nip this in the bud. Barracks is the play, barracks. Barracks on the side of Parsley. He might be thinking of Conatiero. Don't hate it. Again, these crossbow have Death Wish against a stone fortification. Unlucky. Unlucky for the pixels that made up that crossbow. And we haven't seen much action on water sims. We do have an advantage on the side of Benji, but he's playing it cool. We're going to see a relic play. That wouldn't necessarily be my focus here. My focus would be on protecting that mangonel. It was just hanging out there. But no murder holes. Even so, this fortified church is going to go down extremely slowly, as these are unupgraded scouts. You know, you probably had the economy to go for a couple of nights, although I guess a month potentially, not ideal. And here we go. We're actually seeing a play towards the small island rather than a play towards the big island. We're going to see the first move come from Pasta. And that would neutralize a Navy advantage there, because okay, here's the shenanigans. Here's the shenanigans we were talking about. It's going to be castle for castle. And that castle will go up because you have the ships there, but counter castle. Love it. Just notice it now if he moves off that gold. Gonna go to that stone to potentially get up a counter castle here, I would assume. But the main difference is Pasta is an Imperial. Pasta is an Imperial, and we'll have access to troops, and we'll have military on this island. So this may be a sitting duck castle. Even though it's a fast fire ship on Pasta, which I love. So the traps are coming out. The traps are coming out. I don't know if there's anything that can really be done against that. And actually, did we see Pasta play Italians on shoals last time? He went for the Conatiero. Favourite unit of his, it would seem. Can just roam in here and start hacking down villages. Might be worth trying to take down this tower first. But very annoying, these kind of raids. Gotta get these trebuchets working ASAP. Cannot have this castle sit here for until Benji gets into Imperial Age. Yeah, might like to see a siege workshop perhaps. Mangonel, maybe it's too late in the game for that, but you know, gunpowder would solve that issue potentially. Ooh, and we need another trebuchet. We really need another trebuchet. We cannot let this linger. This needs to go down ASAP. But he's really focusing on this side. Fair enough. If we take him off these resources, then the game could be over, but this island is really the most important island. And if he can hold on to this castle for another minute, it's still going to go down, regardless. Saletian fleet coming out, so he's got Benji's got to maintain that water advantage for sure. It's going to be hard to take him off that. Having said all this, you know, the army count's Benji favoured. Villager leader's basically the same, like the villager count's basically the same. This castle's going to go down though. But Dromans could probably take out these castles, right? They range it, don't they? They can't be taken out by castles. So we really need to see a comeback on water, I think, from Pasta to really secure this game. But it's going to be hard when you've only got one gold tile. 23 on that one gold tile with 5 mule carts gathered around. That gold tile is going to run out quickly, and there's going to be no alternative unless you can sneak a town centre over here or something. Brace are coming in. Treb over here now. You know, it might be too late. Need to see more Treb. Again, the urgency on the Treb isn't necessarily there, but we are seeing it now. Unfortunately, this Treb is going to go to that path. Droman's got to try and get it. Trebuchet's quick enough, apparently. Now, if you get this town centre and you get enough Connoteros out, then it's going to be rough. You're not going to have any resources. These villages on this gold have gone down, so that gold advantage is gone. We're seeing a surplus of mule carts. You could not get more efficient if you tried. There's a mule cart per villager. Actually, probably makes it more efficient if they have to walk around it. But villager fight, you know, it's tough when you're turning to villagers as your frontliners. As we see a now decisive villager lead. We still see advantage here. The navy only gets stronger for Benji, but when you are only on water, that's a problem. These are all going to go down. That mule cart took a rock to the head. Is there a bonus for trebuchets against mule carts? Not sure about that, but this island is completely gone. Just have to avoid the smaller ships, basically, and keep Benji off the islands, because he had 300 gold, 6 on food. We are seeing demo ships. If he comes through this gap, it could be a big boom. Big boom. Going to take out these docks though. But he's going to run away with that demo ship. Seeing the Conteros come over here. Even some villages. We're going to see some towers or something on the home island. These docks being taken out. Galleon got docked on the safe side. These castles are gone, by the way. That drone, the drones took it out. So basically nobody's on this island, apart from some gold villages. For this to finally work, Well, when you got 15 villagers and they're all in this TC, it's not looking good. Not looking good. For Benji here. I'll see you later, Benji, if I haven't got you already. Yep, Siege Workshop's gonna finish that off. Some kind of heroes are going to try and take out these ships as well. Benji's holding on for dear life. Dear life. Some of this economy by Benji is also fishing ships. So that tells the story, doesn't it? Benji's going to hold on for dear life. He's going to play this to the end. You know, looking at the score, he's not that far behind. But obviously, in terms of outlook of the game, he is far behind. There would have to be a miracle in order for Benji to pull this out. He basically has 3 on wood. And that's it. These rams are being chased by villagers. The Khan's hero are going to come out, kill these villagers trying to take out the siege workshop. So more villagers are going to go down. Benji's actually not producing any more villagers, even though he has food in his bank, so he is resigned to the fact that he will die. It's just a matter of how long these ships last. Will he stick to the end and wait until the ships die? We'll see. Villagers are being produced. Will he try and run away with one and create a town centre elsewhere? Gotta save these fire ships and build up the critical mass. But it'll be interesting to see with these villages over here. Oh, we've got 2 villages, that's it. Those are the only villages. That's the last town centre. You're going to see docks built at the bottom here. No villages left. No villages left. Guys, it looks like we're going to the end. We're going to the end. We're going to go for the last villager. We're going to fight to the last boat. You know, I'm not surprised. Like I said, Benji's been playing very well. He's picked up 1 win in the last set. He's picked up another win in this set. But I think for Benji, he's looking for more, and he hasn't found more, despite playing well. And this is all going to be clear. All going to be clear. And going for Galleon versus Galleon now. Just have to get rid of this Galleon mass. There's only 25 left. Just have to make sure you get the numbers. Save these numbers. going for all of the tech, all of the Navy tech to make sure these are cost efficient fights. There are the Dromans. I would chase that 100% as they land a couple of shots. You know, this is good practice on the side of Benji at the moment. As he calls the GG. Good play from Pastor. Respect the Pastor. Respect the Pastor. Deserved the win on Zong. I think he deserved the win on Pacific Islands. Kilimanjaro was decisive Benji victory. So again, like coming away from these sets, I think there are some really positive signs from Benji that he is or can compete with the best of them on some maps, but for whatever reason only picks up the one win again. But respect indeed. Now if you remember, I only cast half a Zong as I had some of the set covered up, which was unfortunate. So I'll post these on the VOD. But yeah, the Zong game unfortunately was only half cast, which is unfortunate. But you know, mistakes happen. Mistakes happen. Look at his stats. Yep, to be expected. The long drawn out fight at the end. Pastor securing that home island, the big island, sorry, was crucial. Yeah, love to see the win for Pastor there. But again, some really positive signs out of Benji there as well. So yeah, I will go to the webcam. Yeah, loves casting these sets. Love continuing to cast these sets. Looking to do some more on the weekend. And I look forward to seeing you there. So, thank you very much. Catch ya.